Today's sequence is really strength oriented, unless you don't feel like doing strength stuff and you just want to, take a child's pose whenever, which is totally cool. I invite you to do that for sure. But if you want to come along for the strength ride, take 2 blocks if you've got them, or for a lot of this you can grab a Kleenex box, or even a pillowette sometimes can work, just something that you could squeeze behind your body. Otherwise, a stack of books can also be helpful for some stuff that we'll do in the beginning, but it's really not a requirement. You can do everything without blocks. So the strength stuff that we're going to be working, a lot of thoracic spine mobility and strength. So your thoracic spine starts, you can find it by locating the bony part of your neck, like that boniest vertebra on the back of your neck here. That's C7, your last cervical spine vertebra. Now if you go one lower, that's T1, the first thoracic spine. And then there's 12 thoracic spine vertebrae, and they end right at the bottom of your ribs. And then after that is the lumbar. But we're really going to focus on this thoracic spine, strength, mobility, and also some tricep work. So anytime we're doing things overhead and working to keep our elbows up and together, we're working triceps. Same thing, we'll do a lot of behind the back squeezing. So with that said, let's get into it. Gonna begin on the ground, taking the blocks out or stack of books in front of you, or nothing. Your palms can just go on the ground. It's up to you. Big toes touch, and then you just allow your forehead to come to the ground. And just notice the stretch under your armpits, sides of body. And the breath coming in and out of the body. And start to invite stronger breaths here. For a strong flow, we'll need a strong breath to support it. So allow your ribs, armpits, and collarbones to fill up with air all the way. And let it out the mouth. Again, fill up with air, filling belly, ribs, under the arms and collarbones. Fill up wide as you can. Let it out. Now start to press your hands into the blocks just to come up. We're going to move them a little bit closer. And then your elbows will come onto the blocks. So you want your elbows to be just in front of your shoulders and enough room in between the blocks that you can drop your head between them. And you'll navigate your knees so they are below your hips. We're taking a Anahatasana puppy pose here. And if your elbows are elevated on the blocks, you'll just get a deeper stretch as you take your hands to prayer above your head. Those of you who are taking this without blocks, you can just allow, maybe your chin might come to the ground instead of your forehead. You'll see, whatever feels good on you. And then start to press the shins and the elbows a little deeper into the ground. And notice how that starts to engage the core a little more. Right here, we'll engage the Ujjayi breath. This is that funny sounding breath you might have heard in yoga classes before. It kind of sounds like this. Let me try to do it loud enough. And it's the same. It's basically like you're trying to fog a mirror with your mouth closed using only your nose. That Ujjayi breath. If you've got it, try to keep it throughout practice. If you don't worry about it. Just breathe. And then you can come out of this. And just move your blocks in front of you a little bit so they're out of the way. Taking a tabletop position here. We'll take a breath in as you raise the right hand and left leg behind you, a spinal balance. And as you exhale, draw elbow and knee together. Do that 5 times, breathing in to lengthen. And exhale, elbow to knee. Breathe in to lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. 2 more. Lengthen, curl. Last one, breathe in to lengthen. Exhale, curl. Plant the knee and the hand back to the ground. Drop the belly as you breathe in. Your collarbone spread and your face goes forward for cow. Exhale, press the floor away as your spine rounds for cat. Next breath in, your belly drops and you pull forward for cow. Exhale, round the spine for cat. We're just going to take our spinal balances on the other side, so get neutral in the spine. Then you'll begin to hover your left hand and right knee. Pull that navel into your spine. Breathe in and lengthen everything apart. Exhale, elbow to knee. Breathing in, reach out and lengthen. Exhale, knee and elbow. Breathe in for length. Exhale, elbow and knee. 2 more times. Reach and lengthen. Exhale, elbow to knee. Last one. Lengthen out. Keep that navel to spine. Exhale and round. Everything comes down to the ground. I'm just going to move over a little bit so I can see a little better. And then here we're just going to take your one block or your Kleenex box if you've got it, and put it on your thoracic spine, right between your shoulder blades here. And now we're going to take some cat-cow movements, but we're going to do it isolating the thoracic spine. So try not to get your tailbone, lower back involved here. Want the navel nice and strong, belly firm here. And then as you breathe in, you'll just reach the heart forward. And as you breathe out, you round into that block. The block is there to give you some feedback. We're going to take a total of 5. So 4 more on your own, just dropping the heart as you breathe in for a mini cow only in that thoracic spine. And then exhaling to round the spine into the block. You're doing great. I know, I can feel it. And just finish your last round here. And then come into a neutral spine. And you can take, actually we're going to keep that block or Kleenex box on your back for now. And just try to drop both forearms to the ground at the same time. Just for fun to see how that feels. And then you've got your elbows underneath your shoulders and your hands are wide, spreading all the fingers and pressing the hands and forearms into the ground. We're going to take that same isolated thoracic spine cat-cow movement. Breathing in, you'll drop the heart and look forward. Breathing out, just rounding that block. And it might fall, and that's good. It tells you something about what's going on. So we'll breathe in to lower the heart, lift the face. Exhale, try to round the spine. Inhale to get that cow. Exhale, round just that spine. 2 more. Lower, drop the heart and look forward. And then exhale, round. 1 more. Lower the heart, look forward. Exhale, round. You get to take it off. And then just pull back for an extended child's pose, letting that work melt off your back. Reconnect to your breath here, that strong ujjayi breathing through the nose and out the nose, slight constriction in the back of the throat. And then peel up into Vajrasana just for a moment. And then you'll take your fingertips behind you and just lift your heart, breathing in. And exhale, let it go. We're gonna come into all fours. Spread the hands wide. And then just step into your downward facing dog. Hips are up and back. Heels are drawing toward the floor, but they might not reach the floor. You don't know what's going, or I don't know what's going on today in your body. Every day is different. Just feel this downward dog for a moment. Then breathing in, come up to the balls of your feet. And breathing out, roll forward into a high plank. Take another breath in here, in this strong high plank. And exhale, hover the knees like you're going into child's pose. Your hips will start to go back, but you're hovering your knees. Stay for another breath in. Exhale, hips up and back. We're gonna flow through that. We call it a water wheel. Breathing in, rise to the balls of the feet, your downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, roll forward into a high plank position. Take a breath here when you get in. And then exhale, hover the knees, hips go back to that hovering child's pose. One more breath here. Exhale, heels draw back, downward facing dog. Your next inhale lifts the heels. Your next exhale rolls you forward into your high plank position. This time stay, and then try to drop both of your arms to the ground at the same time. It's real tricky, just do it to play, see what happens. And then here, we're gonna take some more of those mobility in the thoracic spine. So your belly is really strong and firm here. It's a lot of work pulling in. And then you'll just draw the heart forward. Breathe in and exhale, round, pressing the floor away with your forearms. Breathe in to draw the heart forward. Exhale, press the floor away and round. 3 more. Inhale, heart draws forward. Exhale, round. 2 more, you got it. Breathing in to drop the heart and pull it forward. Exhale, round. That belly is hugging to your spine so strong. Your last one, breathing in. Drop the heart, pull it forward. Exhale, push the floor away and round. Drop the knees, pull back, child's pose. And again here, this is a pose you can always come back to. We're gonna build a lot of strength in the arms today, and if it ever feels like more than you want, then just take a child's pose or whatever else feels good. It's your practice. I'm really just here for suggestions. And right. And then you start to relocate your breath. Build its strength again. And then press up to Vajrasana. And then you can take your hands, fingertips back behind you, or maybe this time you want to have your palms flat with the fingers pointing towards your feet. And then just take a breath in and lift that heart to the sky. So good. And then come back to your Vajrasana. Now we're going to just come here into a tabletop position. Spread the fingers really wide. Make sure that your hands are directly under your shoulders. And then you'll take your inner elbows and just spin them to face the front. And then just drop right forearm and your left forearm, starting already to squeeze your biceps toward one another. And then puff up that upper thoracic spine like we've already worked it. And draw the crown of the head forward a little bit. Already here, you're probably starting to feel a lot of energy required. You can stay here and work right here if this is enough for you, or we're gonna pop into Dolphin. It's kind of the theme for today's class. So tuck your toes and then lift your hips just like you come to a downward facing dog. Maybe scoot your feet a little bit closer. And then it's so much work to keep pushing the floor away with the forearms and hands. Draw that forehead forward and stay here, breathing, keeping belly towards spine. We're gonna stay for 5 breaths. You've got it, just 2 more. Knees come down, the forehead comes to the ground, and you take the child's pose. I recommend traditional variation, which has your hands are extended more by your feet instead of out in front of you. This allows your shoulders to rest, and boy, do they want to rest right now. All right, and then you start to imagine that your hands are glued to the floor. And roll up the spine until you can't do it anymore because those hands are glued. Then you can kind of slide them up and come up to Vajrasana. Your head's the last to lift. And then come back, walking the fingers behind you. Your choice with how you want to place the hands. Palms down, fingers towards the feet or fingertips. And then this time take a breath in, heart lifts. Maybe the hips lift too. Reverse cow. And then you can sit back down. And we're going to meet in downward facing dog. Really press the floor away with the hands. And on your next inhale, rise to the balls of the feet and roll forward to a high plank. Take a breath in when you're here. And then exhale. That hovering child's pose, hips go back. Breathing in for another breath. And then exhale, it's back to downward facing dog. This time, breathe in and lift the heels. And we're just gonna tiptoe to the top of your mat. Halfway lift when you get there, flattening the back. And exhale to fold. Have your blocks somewhere nearby you. We'll get to them in a second. Breathe in and lift that heart halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting the heart halfway, flattening the back. When I say lift the heart halfway, I really want you to try to get your torso parallel to the floor with a really flat back. Anytime that happens, fold, bend into the knees a lot, and reach all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Breathing in, and exhale, bend through the knees to fold. Inhale, flatten that back for halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Through bent knees, you rise, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe tiptoes this time. And exhale, bend the knees to fold. Breathing in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, hands rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe tiptoes. And as you exhale, you sit into chair, Utkatasana. Sit your hips back just a little more. And if you notice that your knees are collapsing in, don't let them. Pull them out wide. I like to imagine that my butt cheeks are pulling out to the sides of the room away from one another. One more breath here. And then the hands come out like a T, thumb spin down, and then reach them behind your back. Then interlace the fingers at the base of your spine. And then just start to straighten them as your heart becomes proud. Exhale and fold. Humble bind. without slingshotting. Carefully remove that clasp. Halfway lift, flattening the spine. This is Ardha Uttanasana, is the name of the pose. And exhale, fold. Breathe in, rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe tiptoes. And then exhale, fold. Breathe in, halfway lift to the heart. If you've got a block or a Kleenex box, grab it. And just rise all the way up. Take it out to the side like your wide T here. And then with your thumbs pointing down, draw that block to the base of your spine. Start to squeeze the elbows toward one another. And then breathing in, you'll lift the heart and start to straighten the arms. Push the hands together. This is so much energy. You're in chair still, strong back, belly to spine. We're going to hold it for 5. Keep squeezing the hands together. Heart drawing forward. And release, hands rise. Woo! Exhale, forward, fold. Plant both blocks somewhere in front of you at the top of your mat. Breathe in, lift halfway, and exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Step back to a high plank. Find your alignment with a nice line between the top of your head and your heels. And then drop the knees, bend the elbows back for Chaturanga Dandasana. Stop when you're halfway. Look at your wrists and elbows, and if they're not in line, just draw them so they are. Breathing in, it's your upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, getting into it. Your right leg reaches behind you as you breathe in. Exhale, think knee to nose, rounding. Inhale, re-lengthen, right leg behind you. Exhale, knee toward nose, plant the foot this time. Drop the back knee, Anjaneyasana, kneeling lunge. Hands rise. Squeeze the front foot and back knee together. That gives you a lot of strength in the legs. And this time you breathe in. Exhale, reach forward, grab a block, and take it back up with you when you breathe in. Kleenex box works here. As you exhale, you're going to drop the block behind the crown of your head. Try to keep the elbows squeezing in and up, 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 up. So many people want to take them out or forward. That takes the work out of it. So breathe here. And now we're going to flow with this. So breathing in, you reach it up. Exhale, drop the block down. Elbows stay up. Breathing in, reach the block above you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Keep squeezing. Keep those elbows to the sky. Last one. Lift and lower. Lift to take it above your head. Lean forward and reach. Just plant it down to the ground. If you have 2 blocks, you might want to just plant them in front of you. You don't have to use them, but it can be a little helpful. We're transitioning now to standing split. Weight goes into the front leg, and the back leg floats behind you, toes pointing down. It's more important that you keep your toes down than it is to be like, I'm so high and flying. Just keep it down, and you lift from the inner back leg. Now we'll take some getting more of that thoracic spine strengthening and mobility. So breathing in, lift the heart and the leg. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the heart and the leg. Exhale, fold. Don't hop, I'm just doing that to get back on the screen. Breathe in to lift. And exhale, fold. This time, breathe in and lift the leg and the heart. And then maybe you take your hands in front of you and try warrior 3 on for size. You can always put your hands on a chair. That's a really good way to practice. But wherever you are, just find something that's not moving and look at it. Start to bend the left floating leg and rise. If you need a break, you can always just put your foot down. No one cares. And then you take your leg hip height, and we're going to extend that foot in front of you, engaging the quad and low belly, psoas. Breathing in, lift that leg just another inch. Front foot is so flexed and active. And then you can bend the knee. We're going to take tree pose, so keep your gaze to find your balance. You can use your foot to, or use your hand to plant your foot anywhere on the inside of the standing leg, except for the knee. Do not put your foot on your knee. 9 pounds of pressure to the side of the knee can break a knee, which is great self-defense knowledge and a good reason to keep your knee or your foot off of your knee in yoga. All right, so that said, if you're here, if you've got your foot right here on your calf, that's great. If you're here with the foot on the ground, ball of foot on the ground touching the ankle, this is also great. You're still getting the opening of the hip. You're still working on your balance. Be where you are and honor it. That's what yoga's really taught me, and I really hope can get out to everybody else too. Okay, so we're done balancing for a moment here. Get a little green tea. Mama's been getting me back into that. All right, stand at the top of your mat, shake it out, whatever happened. Who cares? And now breathe in, take the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, lift halfway. And fold. Bend your knees a lot. Push all the way up for Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, fold. Hands plant on the ground. Lift halfway with the heart and then step to a high plank position. All right, here you can drop the knees or not. It's your Chaturanga Dandasana to upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Now from here, we're gonna take a breath in, rise to the balls of the feet and roll to high plank. And we're coming into dolphin again. If you don't want to take this dolphin, take a child's pose or take a tabletop type dolphin, your choice, but try if you want to spin your inner elbows to the front of your mat. Then see if you can lower them at the same time to the ground. Get that puffiness in the upper back and draw the crown of the head forward. Push the whole forearms into the ground, and then you can start to walk your feet a little closer, coming into dolphin. Keep pushing the floor away. Maybe you reach the right leg behind you and just lift, using that lifted leg, just swinging it up to get some air on the bottom foot. Just playing with hopping and using our strength. And then we come into child's pose. Traditional, I recommend, with those hands by your heels. Noticing what the body breathes like when it's working. And as you breathe in, you'll just roll up to a neutral spine. And you can take a reverse cow here. Maybe this time as you breathe in and lift your heart, you also lift your hips. Look up to the sky. Set it down. Walk your hands forward. And it's downward facing dog. We're moving into the other side. Left leg lifts, reaches behind you. Think knee to nose as you pull forward, and then take it back behind you. Your next exhale pulls it forward, and you drop the foot. Back knee lands on vinyasa. Hands rise. And then exhale, they reach forward to grab a block. Now take it back above your head. And then we're gonna reach forward this time, just pulling forward, forward, forward. And then come back up. Inhale takes you forward. Exhale lifts you up. Inhale to reach forward. Exhale, push up. 3 more. This last time. Stay with the block above your head. Squeeze the front foot and back knee towards one another. And then we're gonna take those drops of the block behind the neck. Again, the elbows reaching to the sky. Think about that the whole time. 5 times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Woo! Last one. Take it up. Set it down. Both blocks find the ground. Pop the back foot. And it's your standing split. Really let the front body hover and bow over the front leg for a moment. So you're in like a forward fold on the front leg. And breathing in, lift the floating leg and the heart up. And exhale, you bow. Breathing in, heart lifts. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift. Maybe you take this warrior 3. Little bend in that front knee is really helpful. Oh, and I gotta move over. And then you can land whenever you want, or for a bit of a challenge, bend that floating leg and rise all the way up, taking knee hip height. Hands are above you, or they can find your hips if you're like, I am done with this shoulder work. And then just extend that right leg forward and breathe. Your flexed toes reach up another inch. You got it. Just another breath. And then you can bend your knee. It's your tree pose. Taking it here. Or here. Or here. Knowing there's no better variation than the variation that serves you right now. You can come out of it. Allow your hands to be soft. You can take a roll of the shoulder blades to the ears, and then down your back. Take a breath in and rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift to the heart. Exhale, fold. Breathe in and rise, maybe tiptoes. Woo, woo, woo. And fold. Halfway lift. Fold. Push down to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe tiptoes. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Push down to rise, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe tiptoes. And exhale, fold. Grab a block Press down in it for a halfway lift. Fold. Take it in your left hand. And then rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, come into a chair pose, hips back, belly in. And then you're gonna take that T position with the arms and the thumbs pointing down. And then that block comes behind your back. Last time, shoulder blades squeezing together. Start to extend the arms, keeping the heart proud. Seat low and back. 5 breaths. And if you don't have a block, just do it like this, because it's plenty of work. Halfway through, just 2 more. And you get to take your hands above you and forward fold. Breathe in to lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift of the heart. High plank. Your choice to drop the knees or not. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathing in, come to the balls of the feet. Stay for the out breath. Another inhale to fill up. Exhale, roll forward to the high plank. And then you just roll the inner elbows forward. Try to land both forearms on the ground at the same time. No one's watching, it's okay. And then puff up the upper back. Take the crown of the head forward. And then take steps with the feet as close as you can get them, where it feels comfortable. Well, it's not exactly comfortable, it's never good. But there you go. You're in your dolphin. Lift the left leg. And maybe play around with coming up to the tiptoes of the standing leg. And you're lifting through that lifted left leg, trying to stay really strong and pushing the floor away. Just 3 more. Okay, set it down. And we go into our traditional child's pose. Ooh. Whew. You've made it through the hardest part. It's all a lot easier from here. There'll be some challenges, sure, but nothing like before. We're on the ground. Breathe in and roll the spine up. So it's just Vajrasana. And you can take reverse cows like we've been doing, or we're going to take a reverse tabletop a little deeper here. Just plant your hands on the ground with the fingers pointing towards the feet. And then you'll take your feet out from underneath you. And then just lift the hips, look up at the sky. And start to lower to the ground. I'm going to take the first of a few Navasanas. So your fingers are kind of by your hips for it to begin, and then you'll just lift your shins till they're about parallel. You want to try to think about drawing your thighs towards your chest, and your chest, your heart, up to the sky. Having that heart up to the sky is like the most important part of Navasana. So many times people round the back. That's exactly what we're trying to work here. So if you feel like you've got it, you can lift your hands. Maybe you can take them up high. And then set it down. You get to stretch out those hip flexors now. Another reverse tabletop. And I've been really liking to walk my feet out. And then you push through the entire soles of the feet. Push through like you're lifting your pubic bone to the sky. And the heart lifts. And lower all the way down. Come to Dandasana. It's just like an L shape in the body. Hands plant to the ground. And just press the hands and the heels into the earth. Draw the knees close to you again. We're going to take another Navasana. So you know where you are with this. Be where you are. And just draw the shin bones parallel with the floor. Heart lifting, legs drawing toward torso. Maybe the hands come in. If you feel good at this, maybe play with some toe touches. One toe touches the other. Boop, 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 boop. And then set it down. Allow your feet to extend. Breathe the hands up and then forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Doesn't matter where your hands land. Just let this be an easy stretch on the back. Maybe not easy, but allow ease to be breathed through the pose. And then just take your right foot, bring it to the inside of the left thigh. Draw the hands up in the air, and then we're going to fold again for Janu Shirshasana. And then keep the left forearm, can be on the shin or a little bit closer to the body. Just let it be on the ground. And then peel the right arm open and reach it overhead. So now you're getting a nice stretch through the right hip all the way through the right side. Keeping that hip bone anchored as the fingers reach. And then you'll just take that right hand above you and then plant it behind your hip. Flatten the extended leg to the ground, the extended foot to the ground. And you're just going to come into a supported side plank here. So now we're getting a stretch on the opposite side, the left side. Rooting through the whole left foot on the ground. And reaching. And you come back to that Janu Shirshasana posture with your right foot inside the thigh. And just grab the ankle, move it to the outside. Hook your left elbow around the right knee and give it a squeeze. Getting really tall in the spine as you fill up with air. And then exhale, look over your right shoulder for a twist. Matsyendrasana or Ardha Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes pose. Come back to front. Stretch out the legs. Give them both a shake. And then it's the left leg, the left foot that comes to the inner right thigh. Reach your hands up. Exhale and fold forward. Keep your right forearm on the ground. And then peel the left arm up to the sky, opening. And then you can reach that floating hand fingers a little forward so you feel such a juicy stretch on the whole left side of the body. And you reach the hands up, plant the hand behind you, and then you're going to flatten your extended right foot as you come into a supported side plank. Right hand to the sky, and then exhale, reach forward. So with this view, it's nice, you can see how my left foot is kicked out behind me as like a kickstand. This is such a great stretch, I love it. Then just sit back into Janu Shirshasana. Grab the left ankle, put it on the outside of the right leg, and then the right hand or right elbow gives it a squeeze as you get tall. Exhale, look over your left shoulder and twist. Come back forward, extend your legs and give them a shake. And then you're going to press your heels into the ground, reach the hands forward and start to roll vertebra by vertebra, slowly as you can until you reach the ground. And now, if you have neck injuries or you're just so gassed and ready to rest, I suggest that you stay right here and just start your Shavasana now. And then I'll guide the rest of us through plow pose and a little inversion to wrap up practice. If you're coming along, just plant the soles of your feet close to your bum, just like you would be setting up for bridge. And then you'll extend your feet to the sky and give them a little bit of a swing to plant your feet on the floor behind you. Now I'm going to come out of this for a second because I'd like to be more fully in the view. Let's see how I can do this. So, I don't know if you can, no, I don't know. All right, well, we'll see if this works. Your feet are behind, the toes reaching toward the ground. Ideally, we want the feet on the ground. Heels reaching back, and then take your hands to your low back to give it some support, or even reaching closer more to that thoracic spine. And even here, we try to squeeze the elbows toward one another. Settle as the heels reach behind you. This is Halasana plow pose. Then you can drop one knee to the center of your forehead, then the other, taking the toes to the sky, flexing the feet, your choice. Karnapidasana, deaf man's pose. This is a variation. If you want to come for the inversion, just straighten one leg to the sky, and then the other, pressing the triceps into the ground, and relaxing the face. Flex your feet. And to come out of it, we'll go through plow again. Just start to reach your toes toward the ground. And draw the heels away from your head to deepen that stretch on the calves. Karnapidasana, deaf man's pose variation, drop. Knees to the center of your forehead, the third eye, and let them rest there for a moment. Very carefully, you're going to plant your hands on the ground. Keep pressing them toward the ground as you slowly roll down. Your knees stay kissing one another as your feet land wide. Restorative rest. The low back releases here. Flip your right palm to the sky. And the left palm. And extend your right leg and then the left leg. Fill up with air. Let it out the mouth, helping that air get all the way empty, navel pressing to spine. And then you'll fill up belly, ribs, armpits and collarbones, filling up as wide as you can and maybe even taking a few more sips so you are as full as can be. With all that air staying in your lungs, just soften around it for a moment. Hold it for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it all out. Shavasana. Invite your awareness to notice the rise and fall of your breath. Maybe you envision each breath sending a sparkly energy to the extremities, breathing radiance and sparkly energy down the legs and the calves and feet. Sparkly, radiant energy in the arms and upper back. Down the arms and forearms, sparkly, radiant, reflective. The hands and feet shining like a light, almost a white light just beaming from the hands and feet. Energizing, radiant. Each breath filling up a little wider now. Sparkly, radiant energy to the crown of the head. The whole body beaming, radiant and sparkling with new energy, awake and alive and ready. Awake, alive and ready. Maybe you start to wiggle your fingers and toes and draw your knees to the center of your chest and start to rock with that radiant energy. Eventually you rock enough to come to a seat. And a friend of mine has been oming in her online classes. And you know what? I think it's a great time to om at home. So let's do it. And take a full breath in to prepare. Ah.